So ESPN Classic has rated the robbers and the victims, and now it's time to rate the ratings while hoping our ratings continue to soar. For that, we bring in our second guessers, the Junkies. You know them by now. For sports-loving radio talk show hosts from D.C. and Baltimore. Gentlemen.
All right, boys, let's talk about the all-time great trade robberies. What jumps out at you on the list here?
Well, first of all, that Red Auerbach's involved in about half of these moves.
It was genius.
Yeah.
And the number one, you can't argue with it. Bill Russell goes to the Celtics, 11 titles in 13 years.
Well, pretty smart for the St. Louis Hawks to trade away a guy who averaged 22 rebounds per game in his NBA career.
To be fair, the Hawks won a championship with Ed McCauley.
Right.
But when you weigh the all-time NBA greats,
Let me see.
I don't think Ed McCauley's here.
Right.
It's more like Bill Russell here.
Right.
Ed McCauley forgot.
How about one championship to 11?
Right.
Ed McCauley short-term, Bill Russell long-term.
How about Scottie Pippen going to the Bulls, 1987, drafted by the Seattle Supersonics, 5th overall behind David Robinson, Gilliam, Dennis Hobson, and Reggie Williams. All right? They traded him for the rights to Olden Polonies. Right. Okay, so Scottie Pippen goes on to score, 20,000 points, 6 championships, one of the all-time great defensive players. And Olden Polonies goes over to Utah,
right.
End of his career, and is impersonating cops.
Right. I think the Bulls.
I think that's a robbery.
Bulls got the better of that deal, I would say. Another omission: Marshall Faulk getting dealt from the Indianapolis Colts to the St. Louis Rams for a 2nd rounder and a 5th rounder because the Colts wanted to draft Edgerrin James.
Kind of worked out for the Rams.
Well, all Marshall Faulk did when he went there, 3 straight seasons, his first 3 seasons there, over 2,000 all-purpose yards, 59 touchdowns, led them to 2 Super Bowls, winning 1. I think it worked out for the Rams.
The Wizards traded away Ben Wallace for big fat Ike Austin.
Right.
Ben Wallace goes to Detroit. How about 4 times Defensive Player of the Year?
How about he's the cornerstone of one of the best teams in the past 5 or 6 years in the NBA?
Pedro Martinez shows up on this list at number 17. The Dodgers traded him years ago for Delino DeShields, a little toothpick second baseman, slappy hitter, because they thought Pedro was too skinny to be an all-star pitcher.
So they traded toothpick for toothpick.
Right. But how about Hall of Fame pitcher?
Yeah, well, that's what we call a botch, because he's one of the all-time great pitchers.
Another great baseball trade that's actually not on this list is when the White Sox traded Sammy Sosa to the Cubs for George Bell. Sammy Sosa went on to have over 500 home runs with the Cubs. George Bell hit 45, played 3 years, cooked.
Right, and had a bad Jerry curl to boot.
Right.
All right, boys, that's our list of the great trade robberies of all time.